Expo, I thought it would be a good time to sit down and have a chat with my stepson, Charlie Bird. Some of you know that he's my stepson, some of you don't know he's my stepson. What you probably don't know is that when I came into Charlie's life, he hated me. He didn't talk to me, he wouldn't have anything to do with me, but now we really do get on quite well. So what I thought it might be interesting to see is how Charlie's journey in a family business has been, because you started work with us when you were 15 on a Saturday when he could be bothered to make it in. And we went through some quite turbulent times, didn't we? So I think you're a very different man now than you were when you first started in the company. How do you think you were as an employee, let alone a son, at the age of 16?
At the age of 16, I just didn't like the thought of being at the bottom. I think that was a big hit, especially coming out of school, and I didn't go to college. Everyone's saying they're going to be doing this and that with their lives, and I just had no idea what I wanted to do. I think there was no real, especially in school, no, they can give you guidance, but unless you kind of realize what you want to do, you've got no push to go in any type of
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to be doing I was going to be doing like ICT and computers, wasn't I?
Well, you was until we went to the college and you didn't understand what they were talking about. But yeah,
Yeah, that was far from what I realised that I was a pretty hands-on and now talkative into with just general public type of people. I love like service. I love
yeah,
understanding people, how people work, how people, especially in our industry, it's just full of characters.
yeah, yeah. I think it took you a really long time to realize that you were part of a family business and not an employee. I remember when you first started, you thought that the same rules applied to you
100%.
as they did everyone else, which in a family business isn't quite the case. But also, I think, I'll take a bit of responsibility of this. Me and Dad were really keen for you to start at the bottom and learn your craft and put managers like in between us. So there was no kind of, oh, he gets that because he's the son. And I think maybe you get that now, but you probably didn't at the time.
I think back then I didn't really have the stability of also asking and trying to understand that side. I thought it was more like this is the way and that's it. And that's why having my two younger brothers, Louis and George, working for us, I've realised that me giving them the little heads up and the little stability of that you're doing this for a reason. I've noticed how they've developed a lot faster than what I did. I think the resistance from my heart on one from my half was just not understanding where it was going. And because I didn't really want to go home and only talk about work because I wanted it to go straight back to the family aspect. And there was the managers in between, which they were decent at the time. And I think it was just an unsure that I made assumptions in my head. But now growing up, I 100% understand where it is and where I'm kind of making the voice of myself, and it's still aligning with everything that I have been taught from you guys now because I have asked the questions, because I do understand it, and because I actually really, really want to learn a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm like so keen to learn as much as I possibly can so I can, because I grew up seeing yours and Dad's like status and like that, like your presence when you walk in a room, people want to get to know you and stuff. I was wondering why I didn't have that, and that was purely because I hadn't been in that environment, in that industry. I was no one to them. I was just the son. And I think learning that I've got to do it for myself, and I do have the mentors like you, Dad, and the other people that we work with. I think it's really given me that encouragement now that I am so comfortable with.
Yeah. Do you think you were treated differently to other people at the same level as you?
I think no, I do think I was treated differently, but I think it was to be stubborn. I do think some things were let go where they wouldn't with other workers because of the family aspect.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about coming in on a morning and finding Charlie asleep on the sofa in reception because he hadn't actually been home that night.
And it would be a Tuesday.
And it was a Tuesday. We could talk about that on several occasions.
But I still turned up to work. So I still turned up
Yeah.
to work. Never. I always.
But that
Well,
happened, didn't it?
yeah, it 100% happened. I'm not making excuses.
Charlie likes to tell this story that I started at the bottom up. They treat me so badly. They never looked after me. I was paid the worst. I had to sweep the yard. He doesn't tell you about the perks of when he was really bad, that he didn't get the sack.
No, I got the sack. I got it 3 times.
You did get the sack 3 times. And actually, that is really interesting. You know, family businesses are tough. If you live them, you breathe them, and you get sick of them. You know, so much of the time. How many times have we sat around the dinner table and it's the last thing you want to do?
Yeah.
But actually, as you get older, you must have realised how much you absorbed during those times.
I'm quite grateful for, obviously, that was me pushing, like trying to rebel. That was me going through that stage as you do as that age and not understanding what's going on. And I think if I didn't have the family company that was actually relying on me to make sure that I was doing my job at some points, I don't think I would come away from that as fast as I did. I think I wouldn't have understood the way that things are going. I mean, we all like going out and stuff. We all like socialising, seeing our friends. I think I was taking it so far because I was so in the dark of myself and what I was doing. I do think that now it has given me a leg up and made me realise that my social life isn't the same as my work life, and that's okay. The balance is okay. I think I was struggling with it has to be one or the other, but not liking it always having to only be the other.
Yeah. Your brain couldn't stay in its lane. Okay, quick fire round. Best thing about being in a family business?
The team. I don't think I would ever work for a company where I know that the team 100% have my back. And I'm not just saying only the family. I'm talking about the actual workers that have stuck with us for years and years and years. We went from one company, we're in this one. They have come with us and they do it with a smile on their face. And I know that if I've got a problem, they'll come to me. I'll go to them, or they'll even come to me and say, "What's wrong, Charles? What you doing?" It's nice.
Okay. Worst thing about being in a family business?
Oh, worst thing is when you're sat having your Sunday dinner, enjoying your nice little lamb shanks, and your dad turns around into you and goes, "How's work been this week?" And you say, "Yeah, it's been good." And he goes, "Wow." and then it doesn't stop.
Yeah, so every week then, basically.
Yeah.
And best thing about being in a metal recycling job?
It's just so interesting. I feel like the more that, like, as the older I get, the more that people are opening up and explaining new things to me. There's the new things that are going on with the motors. There's the new things that are going on with the aluminium. I'm finding out things about, like, the country and the world that if I was in just a normal job, I would never even know this. And the more I'm learning about that, the more it's making me, like, look at stocks and shares, and it's making me look at all of these different angles of what, again, I would just never learn.
And the worst thing about being in the scrap industry?
It has its good days and bad days, but when it's on its bad days, I do feel like everyone can get themselves in a slump, even though we know it's coming. Factory shutdown, school holidays, we all know they're coming, but everyone seems to just be like, well, that's it, and they can't get themselves out of it.
I do think with people in the space in general, I mean, you ask anybody who owns this type of business, oh, you know, how's it been? How's your year? Well, you know, it could be better, even if that's the best time.
Yeah, 100%.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, Charles?
I see myself still working for the company. I see myself being more in a managerial role, looking over the business, still being fully hands-on and being that good team player that I feel like I am setting out to be.
And if I was to give you an apprentice for you to train up to release you from your job, what kind of character would you be looking for?
For someone to do my job, and that is another struggle on why I don't like anyone covering me, is I'm all about customer service. I want everyone to walk away with a smile on their face, if that's from the local tatter that's coming in, day out, or if it's coming from an old lady that's just found 15 kilo of lead in her house. I want everyone to walk out feeling the same way, that they're 100% going to come back to us.
Excellent. And do you think you could train someone?
Easily.
Okay, well, there you go. We need an apprentice for Charlie. Thanks, Charles.
Thank you.